Order submitted. Order cancelled.
Folks, hope everyone is well. Rodian, good morning, or good evening to you. Well, maybe good morning. Speedy, how you doing, buddy? Okay, so we've had an on-farm payroll report this morning, which created that. I think it was slightly positive news, or better than expected, I think. But it doesn't seem to matter sometimes. Sometimes it'll drop before it rockets up. But there we go. So I think we seem to have started exponential. How you doing, bud? How you doing, Indy? We seem to have started what looks just like a range, I think, initially. Okay, market is officially open. That lag's just shot up a little bit. Maybe just because... okay, it's dropped down just because this influx of orders, I think. So... okay, so let's have a look here. So we got a leg down with a break. Let's have a look here. We got a little triple top here. See if we can get a lower high there.
Order filled.
Okay, second entry short.
Order filled. Target filled.
This one, I think.
Order filled. Order
Close.
filled.
Am I in or am I out? I'm out. Okay, it did come down. Let me have a look. Okay. 2 points there. Quick 2 points. It's alright, it stressed me out a bit, that did. I shouldn't really enter. I tend to not enter. 2 legs up. Let's have a look here. I'll talk about that in a second. So, one attempt to go higher, second attempt to go higher. I like that, the way we pushed over, triggered above. Wow, that's tempting. Let me have a think about this. Slow down a little bit. Okay. It's okay. Let's slow down a bit. Okay, I like that. We got a leg up. We got a little break at a new high. I like the fact that we triggered that and dropped quickly. So a quick trade there. Let's just sit back and relax a little bit. I got some slippage there on a few accounts, but it was basically 2 points. Let me have a look. You got points there. Got a couple of points. Yes. I like that. We had a leg down with a push up and a break and a new high and a quick drop. I like the way it triggered that. Now it did come down, but generally as a rule I tend to avoid that initial fast stuff, and that could have stung me a bit there, but let's have a look. Okay, depending on what, in fact, let me have a look where I got in. Okay, yeah, I got a bit of slippage there, so I got in there and got out. No, that's not right. What happened there? What the hell happened there? I don't quite know what happened there. Let me have a look at that. I got in there, so that's what I got in. So it was probably, oh no, so it's about a tick lower than. So I don't quite know what happened there. Okay, so let's have a look on the profits. I seem to get, I got 2 points on the one. Can you see that there? So I got 2 points on the one, two and a quarter there, 2 and a quarter there, 2 and a quarter there, and under there. Oh, I scalped the NQ at the same time, did you? See on the NQ, it's daisy chaining down, so I think that's part of the reason. I'm not quite sure what happened there. Let's have a look. That's weird. Just checking everything's shut. It is. 65, 60. I can't work out what I got there. It's almost like there was 2 entries. It's just, that's a bit weird. So I see on one of them I've got, so I don't know, it's about 2 and a quarter there, 2 and a half there, or 2 and a quarter, 2 and a quarter, 2, 2, and just under. So I seem to average around about the 2 and a quarter points, but just for argument's sake, let's just call it 2 points. It's a bit confusing that. It's just fast moving. But the way it pushed up, crossed over, triggered above there and dropped quickly told me there were some sellers up there. So that was a little bit risky on my behalf there. It's moving fast. I took my green bar and just dragged it up and dropped it. It's the quickest way. Sometimes what I used to do is bring my stop down. The trouble is if you bring your stop down, it hits your stop, it can kick it out. Whereas if you grab your profit and just drag it above it and drop it anywhere, it'll take it out at the next price. I made 80 in my lead account, $40 the followers, a good bit of slippage. Yeah, there is, yeah. To be honest with you, it usually moves a little bit quicker, but not quite that quick. And I'm guessing it's something because of the non-farm payroll. But there was a bit of slippage, but I tend to, I mean, if I look at the actual price up here, so there's a 1.25, 2 points, 2 and a quarter, 1 and a quarter, and 3/4 of a point. So let's call it 2 points for argument's sake. But that was quick. It's got to have been because of the news. Although that's done and dusted. But obviously there are traders who might not trade the news, who just might be coming in with the official market. So, yeah, it's a bit unusual that. So, let's slow down and have a look. So, let's call it 2 points for argument's sake. Thereabouts, probably a little bit over, but on average, but there we go. Okay, let's just put that there for a sec. Let's give this a chance, but it does seem to be ranging. Let me have a look there. We do seem to have a little channel up here. Okay, second entry long there. There may be a 2-tiered channel, but I'm a little bit unsure of that. Okay, yeah. I mean, it clearly worked. It was a second entry long. You may call this a 2-tiered channel. It keeps working, but it's just the bar's not that good in all fairness. I pushed my luck with that one, but I do like that one. We had a channel down, we had a break, we pushed up. I like the way we made a triple top there and we pushed above it. The second we got above it, it dropped quickly, which tells me there's some sell orders there, so you'd expect it to come down a fair bit. I was thinking it was going to come down a lot more. I had my profit down here, which is why when it started to get a little bit volatile, I just jumped in and took it out and decided just to grab whatever I could. So it worked out okay. But it was a little bit more volatile than normal. It'll have been because the non-farm payroll, I think. So let's have a look. Let's get rid of this. That looks like a little bit of a channel there, maybe a leg and a leg. We'll see. What's this doing? So let me just rearrange this a little bit. So we're up. We've got new highs up here. I'll say hello to everyone in the middle in a second. I've gone down. Okay, so we got a leg and a leg. We're coming off the top, so we've come from the bottom, close to the top, from the bottom to the top. So leg and a leg. I think it's likely we're going to come down, but because we've had this channel, I want to give it a chance to push up and break it and make a new high. So let's have a look. So Rodian, how you doing, bud? Speedy, how are you? Indy, how you doing? Exponential, how are you? Akitri, how you doing? But that was a little bit dramatic. But there you go. But I see Mac mark a lot of those where we push up, crossover, trigger, because as we're bouncing off here, looks like a couple of legs down, as we're bouncing off here, whether you'd have got in there or not, or somewhere on the way up, and it triggers and comes down, but it didn't come down as much as I thought it might do. But there we go. So this does look like we're coming up. So that looks like a spike in a channel with a break, leg down, leg down. My only slight concern here is I was going to consider looking for a higher low. My only slight concern here is we're below the EMA at the moment on the NQ. So although it's, yeah, I mean, it's too far from the EMA for me. It doesn't look like a lot, but it's a million miles for me. And it might work, but we are below the EMA at the moment. So we've had a leg down. We've had two pullbacks, a big stem there, which tells me I think it's coming down a bit more. I might be completely wrong, but we'll see. So it has triggered that, but I just don't like it. Another thing I can see there as well. Okay, it seems to have worked, but it's just too far for the EMA. I want that body sat on top of there. There does seem to be. We got this channel. We got a break. We one attempt to go higher. Second attempt to go higher. If we get a second entry short here, I would say this is now coming down, because we've already, from this channel, we've already made one attempt, two attempt, maybe call that two attempt. Let's have a look. It's not quite a good enough bar there on the NQ, so we've got a leg down. Let's have a look. I think that is possible. I don't know at the moment is the answer. So this does look like it's going up, so perhaps that is, yeah. I mean, that's what it's kind of why I like this. I just don't know about this, because we pushed up strongly and then came straight back down. So when we start to struggle a little bit here, it concerns me going long. So we touch once there, touch the second time, which tells me if that triggers and it touches again, it could come down. And not only that, price was below the EMA on the NQ, so that's just one where I'd sit out of there. But irrelevant whether it works, I wouldn't have taken that bar anyway. I want that body on the bottom of that and have plenty of room to the highs. There isn't much room up to the highs there, so if you're taking that, I mean, you've got, what, a point and a half to the highs, which I'm just not a fan of it at the moment. It's a little bit chopping around. So we got a channel up there, two legs back and a new high. So yeah, that was a little bit of an erratic trade for me. I liked it, but I should have stayed out of it because it was moving a bit too quick. larger channel working up there. Even if I don't take it from there and take it from here, it works just the same. Let's have a look. We'll see. Okay, so we got all-time highs. We're just consistently hitting it every other day. And the NQ as well, we're close to it. So we're going to leg down. Let's have a look here. That looks like a bearish pattern to me, that does. Lower high. That would come off these highs. I generally don't pick them, but I think for me, that looks quite bearish, that does. We got a leg and a leg. Bearish bar, triggered that long, lower high, matching high. But I don't pick tops, and even if I was going to, this isn't high enough for me. So I'm just sitting tight. So there may be something larger up there, I'm not sure yet. I'd expect this to come down for a little bit. Leg down. 2 attempts to push up, bearish bar. But it is a bit sideways, so okay, so a little overshoot there, so let's have a look, see how far this goes. Okay, so that would have been a bad trade. It's just choppy. 2 measured legs up. Wow, look at that. So let's just put that channel back and see how high that goes. So if we put it from there, crossing there and there. So it's possible. What did we do yesterday? Okay, yeah, big push up yesterday and a couple of legs back. And then just a little rally before we finished, and then we continued on up. Leg back, well, leg and leg, call that a leg the news, but it does seem like we're moving up some more, doesn't it? Let's have a look. So leg with a break, clear push up for a new high. But we're still a little bit sideways on the NQ, aren't we? So how you doing, Chad? I saw your comment. I didn't trigger you. How you doing, buddy? Gonna be one of those big Friday runaway days. You never know, mate. You never know. Be interesting to see whether this comes back in there. The reason I'm thinking that is because we just seem to be sideways. We haven't broke above the highs of the day as yet, whether we will or not. But it, so we got a leg in it. I don't know. Is this going to come back in? I won't be trading it anyway, just in case, because there is a possibility there could be a bigger channel. I mean, this may continue on up, see, but I would suggest that we may come back and retest this. I don't know is the answer, so. Okay, excuse me, just a second. Okay, I'm going to have to nip out for about 15 minutes, 10 minutes maybe, in around about 25 minutes. I'm just dropping my wife off down the road into town to get a haircut. She's going around school kicking out time, so traffic's going to be bad, so she'll struggle to park. So, what's up? Good morning to you. How are you doing? Right, let's have a wee look. So there may be a second entry long there. There's something about it I don't like. It's a little bit congested, but we've got a double top. So I'm staying out of that at the moment. It's a bit far from the EMA. I just don't like it. It's a bit congested. We're getting very close to the tops in the NQ, so I'm just going to sit tight. It may work, but if it goes without me, that's fine. I got no issues with that, but I just don't like it. It's just it's in a little box. It's a bit congested. Although it is the bottom part of the box. If it does go up, I don't know if it's going to go far enough, but I don't like it is the answer, so. We're very close to the tops. I wouldn't go long on the NQ, so I'm certainly not going long here. In fact, if I tighten that up, yeah, I don't like it. It might grind up eventually. It does seem to be holding, but it's not for me. It's just there's nothing much there really. I just don't like this double top. So you'd have got a point out of that so far with that bar there. So it may have got a bit more, but it's stopped at the top. We're very close to the tops here. So if you took that trade, I'm guessing you're quite likely going to be out now anyway. I certainly wouldn't hold any higher than that, especially after that double top. So you'd have got you'd have got through a 1.75, certainly 6 ticks comfortably. It may go higher, but yeah, just because we're coming to the tops here, we could get a bounce. On the NQ side, we could get a bounce. It's going a bit slow now, so we'll see. I'm not a fan of taking them at the bottom of a channel without being close to that EMA, just in case we have a leg down and it triggers you and we have another leg down back towards the EMA. So I tend to not like taking them like that. But it clearly worked. I'm still not massively convinced this channel's perfect. Okay, so we're coming up now. We've just made a new high. Well, new high by a tick there. So where about in Wales are you from? I was North Wales. I live in Shropshire, which is sort of on the Welsh border. So North Wales. Okay, so I'm guessing you were somewhere around about what, Rill? I'm trying to think of some of the other places up there. Where's the other one? I can't think. But no, I live Shropshire, so depending on where you came from, you may have come near me. I am, if you look on the map, you've got you're around Bangor. Okay, yeah, so the top corner, I got you. So you'd have probably gone from Chester up the A55 then, wouldn't you? So Chester is about 40 miles north by northeast, so east west, north by northwest from me. So I'm around about the end of the M54, just off the M54. So if you go right from where I am, you've got Telford 15 mile away, then Wolverhampton another 15, and then Birmingham another 15. So yeah, you wouldn't have been far from me. It's nice Bangor, actually. I went up there. Well, I say nice day. I went up there for near Wrexham. Yeah, not far away from Wrexham. I would say around about 33, 35 miles from Wrexham. Not far at all. Not far at all. It'd take me long to get to Wrexham. I was up at Bangor at my uncle's funeral about 5 years ago. It is beautiful up there. You go over the big bridge, don't you, with the Menine Straits and all that. It's lovely. Nice part of the world, that is. So this does look like it is continuing on up. We've been watching the TV show. Would that be the one with Ryan Reynolds? Him and a buddy have bought Wrexham United Football Club. Yeah, it's quite interesting, that, actually. I have watched a bit of it, if that's what you're on about anyway. It's unusual. I think it's because Wrexham really is a little market town. It's probably the biggest thing that's hit Wrexham for a while. Oh, you like English football, do you? Yeah. Cricket I'm more into. And I know a lot of US guys don't really know what cricket is. It's just... You have a bowler and you have a batsman and everyone dresses in white. So that you bowl most of the time with a red leather ball. But I'm just trying to provide a little bit of a picture, and you might go, oh, yeah, it rings a bell. But yeah, it's big business over here, football is. I don't follow football as much as I used to. I used to follow Leeds United. But I don't follow. I tend to follow things like World Cups and stuff like that. Man City and top. Yeah, I got you. Okay. Yeah. It's big business, isn't it? Well, just getting bigger and bigger in the States, isn't it, as well? I mean, you had Beckham over there with the... I forget who it were now. You had David Beckham over there. In fact, you got a few UK players, or a few ex-UK players, haven't you? Yeah, I can't think of the name. What was the name of the club? Is it Galaxy? Galaxy something or other, isn't it? Spurs have an Aussie coach. So it's... I got you. Yeah. Yeah, see, it's weird, isn't it? See, your national sport is cricket, isn't it? Our national sport is football. But I used to watch some Aussie rules. I tell you what, you guys are crazy. I used to think rugby's tough, that Aussie rules. It's almost like Canadian hockey, but without the ice. You still beat the crap out of each other. Yeah, it's mad, that is. Aussie rules. Yeah, that's crazy, that is. Oh, is it really? No. I want to go to Australia. I will go to Australia in the next maybe 5 to 7 years. I want to go to watch the Ashes for about 5 or 6 weeks. It's just something nice about sitting in the sunshine, watching cricket, drinking beer. So I'll do that. I think it's in. Is it? We had it here. So it's in Australia next. So I might go the next one. We'll see. We'll see how the trading goes. If I do well in trading, I'll go over there maybe for a month or something like that. But yeah, I get what you're saying there, because Aussie rules is very big, isn't it? But I don't know. I do hear more people talk. It's probably because I'm in the cricket circles, but I do have a bit of banter. So I'm a member of the Barmy Army fan club, so we do have a bit of banter with the US guys. But it's all good fun. So what is this doing here? Yeah, have a look. Only in Melbourne. Yeah. What's going on here? That looks like just maybe a leg, and I'm just wondering whether consider that a break, possibly. Mind you, it's still running up that line, isn't it? So maybe no. I think that looks okay. Yeah, I know it's been like that a lot lately, though, hasn't it? Really volatile. I mean, normally as a trader, I know when I first started with currency, we're trend followers. We'd follow a trend, so we'd use a bit of software and find a strong currency against a weak currency, and presto, you've got a trend. But I mean, we've had a few trends over the last week or so, and there's just been very little setup. So it's okay if it's going up, but if you have got an entry, what can you do? If you decide just to jump in, the market tends to sting you. It's very efficient at making people miserable. So you've got to, I mean, I've tried so many times in the past jumping in without a setup, and it punishes you. It really does. You can't do it. I just don't do it anymore. I've given up. But it is frustrating. Which is why I also started looking at the 1500 tick chart of the ES and the 1000, just to see with that little bit more detail whether, maybe get a setup. Because the trouble is, when you get something like, if you get these three bars there, something like that, let's say this was an uptrend on the 2000 tick chart, a lot of the time on the 1000 tick chart, you get a higher low in the middle of that, and you'd have something to take. No setup. It is, mate. I tell you what, but we've all done it, Speedy, haven't we? I spent. I like to think I was an expert at it, but we've all done it. I mean, I sat here. It was probably, I don't know, 7 or 8 months ago, and the market was absolutely tanking, and it was just dropping, and I just thought, sod it, I'll just sell, and I shit you not, it ticked down 2 ticks, went straight back up and stopped me. I could not believe it. But you push your luck, you take risks. It's human nature for people who haven't really been trading long, which is why obviously you need to change that mind. But it is pure gambling. I mean, don't get me wrong, trading is gambling. You are betting on an outcome where you can lose a considerable amount of money, but given time and hard work, you can absolutely get it to swing in your favour massively. But as much as we see the market absolutely rocketing up or tanking, from experience, you have to wait for a setup, because it does make you miserable. Did you see Wilson's winnings? Yeah, I did. The frustrating thing about that is he got on the stream and he took 2 losses. Now, I know exactly how he feels. When he shut the stream down, he went back in and took some big wins. But the trouble is, when you take 2 losses and you decide to give up to the day, when you come back, as far as I'm concerned, you're doomed. It may not happen then, it may not happen the following day, but it's a matter of time. Exactly. He revenge trade. I'm not saying he's bad for doing it. It's not, it's one of those things. But taking 2 losses in a day is a tough day's work, and you've got to be mentally tough to walk away from it. But in all fairness, the trades he took, I'd have never taken them in a million years anyway. They were just way too risky. But yeah, he revenge trade, and the trouble is, for me, I've always been an all or nothing type of person. And when I start doing it wrong, I just tend to go off on one. So I've really had to work hard to say, I just can't do it anymore. I have to accept what happens. I have to wait for a setup. If it works, great. Lately, most of my trades are working purely and simply because I'm taking my time and waiting for setups. But it's a matter of time before I have a loss. I haven't had one for 3 weeks, couple of 3 weeks, something like a couple of weeks. But it's a matter of time before it happens. So I'm trying to mentally prepare myself for how to deal with it. But yeah, he came back and just got a bit lucky. But, I'm not picking at him for doing it because I've done it myself many times and we all do it. But I hate that feeling now where you lose control and you jump in. I was looking at a trade here somewhere earlier and I had the urge to jump in. And at the time, yesterday, when I was trading this one account, I looked on that one. I was going to take that triple test and I jumped in and it went away and I never caught it in the end. But I just closed down Replicanto. So when I opened the market today, I just had the one account there and I was very tempted to get in there. But I just thought, just remember, you have to do it right. The moment you jump in from impulse, you're doomed, because if you've done it once, you'll do it again. So you have to get to that stage where you just absolutely refuse to do it. And at the moment, it's working. I just hope it continues. But they do say when you get to the stage that you start questioning, should I give up, which I have done on many occasions, sometimes they'll not start to work. And what I can tell you at the moment is it feels like it's starting to work. Now, I've had one of these accounts up a calendar month today, another one a calendar month tomorrow. So I've held for around about a month. Now, I've done that before. Now, when I get to 3 months and things are going okay, then I'll start to think, okay, now I'm starting to feel like this is working. And apparently, when you get to that stage, you have this big aha moment and think, okay, I've decided not to take any stupid risks and now it's working. And then you get that big rush of belief and then things start to just get better. So they tell me anyway. I'll let you know when I feel it. But Wilson he got rocked when he lost those accounts, those 20 accounts. Now, that would rock me, 20 accounts. The most I've lost in one go is 4, and that put tears in my eyes. So, and he's trying to get back in, isn't he? Now, granted, he was trading on evaluations, and I get that. Even though I'm trading a lot better now, I still take more risks with evaluations. I think most of us do. Let's call evaluations that itch that needs scratching. So, if he'd have come back and revenge traded on PA accounts, then I'd say that's a little bit different. So, you would sort of forgive him for doing that. But it is tough. It's very tough. I think Wilson will do all right. I think he's got what it takes, because if you can lose 20 accounts on 2 occasions and come back, I think you're going to stick around. So I absolutely believe he'll do well. You took that Doji second entry short. That one I took, yeah. We had a leg down there. We had a push up. And I've seen Mac mark lots of these. We have a strong push up. We have 3 tops like that. It triggered above there. triggered both those bars, then dropped quickly. Yeah, exactly. I've seen Mac take these. I've seen Marco mark them as well. It pushes up, get 3 tops like that, and it drops. You aren't afraid to take dojis? Not really. If I think the setup's good, I mean, we've got a touch, a touch, a touch, and it's fitting nice along here as well. And we came up, came across, triggered, dropped. Look back on that later. It triggered and dropped, which tells me there's sell orders above that lot. And it came down. I got a couple of points out of it. So the fact that what I find sometimes is when you see these setups and there's a quick move, that told me that there's orders up here. But I didn't want to be greedy. When we had that quick push in, I just dropped me profit there and thought I'll just I got to cut. Well, because there was a bit of slippage, I seem to get between. Let me have a look. I got 2 points, 2.25 points. 2.25 points, 2.5, and 3/4 sorry, 0.75. So I averaged around about 2 to 2.25 points because of the slippage. But yeah, I don't mind dojis at all. I mean, just all a doji is, you know, it just opens and closes at the same place, but it's still relatively on the bearish side. Well, it is still bearish, you know, but it's how it dropped quickly. That got me interested in it. I'm just trying to find. I mean, there's a doji like that. Obviously, that's more neutral, but you know, a lot of people worry about dojis. They don't worry me too much as long as they're bullish and bearish. You know, that's more of a bullish doji. I'm just trying to find a very bullish or bearish one. And I've heard Max say sometimes dojis can be a sign of a quick move. Balls. Sorry about that. Let me have a look at this. Okay, so we got a lovely channel on the NQ followed by a break. Now we've clearly broken above. Hey Mo, how you doing, buddy? I hate taking a loss on Friday. Yeah, I know what you mean. I don't love it anyway. Excuse me a sec. Okay. For 5 minutes, I'm just going to have to nip off for 10 minutes quickly. I've only got to drop my wife a 1.5 miles down the road, so she's too lazy to walk. So let's have a look. So really nice channel there on the NQ. Nice channel. It does look like we may get that sort of slow move up again. We clearly got above all this, and there's no hint about coming back. So I'm looking for a second entry long, followed by a higher low. We got a double top on there, so that's making me a bit nervous. It's a little bit congested there. So we may have a slightly bigger break. Trouble is, when we got a small box like that, it's not much before we're at the highs. So taking a higher low here, it's too late for this really. We're already up here. I would prefer a slightly bigger break than that, another leg. Took the lower high and coffee. Oh, did you really? And got burnt? You took that one there, did you? So if you took that one there, so you got in before it triggered, didn't you? See, I usually wait till it. Well, I always wait till it triggers. I was looking at that one. I mean, if that had triggered, I was looking at it. Okay, we have pushed up. There's no higher low there anyway, so there's nothing I can do. This is continuing on up, and in fact, I could probably drag this out a little bit and make that fit there. So maybe that is just a little bigger. Yeah, that's not too terrible, is it? Maybe a spike with a channel. Let's have a look. Yeah, looks better. Yeah, I like that. I don't necessarily think it is a break. We've got a touch there, a touch there. Yeah, we'll see. So a leg followed by maybe a little overshoot. So let's see if we can get a leg and a leg here. Okay, there's a high low there, but way too far from the EMA for me. It's got to come back here if I'm going long into that. I'm looking on Bookmap and there is some big orders around about the 93. Okay, excuse me for about 10 minutes. I'll leave my chart on. I'm just going to drop my wife off. So let's put that there. So I'll just leave this. I'm just going to drop my white off. So I'll be about 10 minutes. Okay, I'm back. Apologise about that. Let me see. Okay. So, maybe that is a break in a new high. So, let's have a look. Let's remove that. Not sure about this. Leg down, leg down. Does seem to be a bit of a bottom there. Yeah. So whether that is like that or not, it's hard to say really. This does look, I like that channel in the NQ, and it does look like it's pushing up to make a new high. We're not far away now, so I'm not sure about this. Have a look. I'm not sure about that. Yeah, I like that. Got a touch there, bunch of touches there. Nice touch, nice touch, nice touch. So I would suggest now that is something like that. And we've had a break, new high, 2 legs back, and we may be going up. It's hard to say yet. Let's see what happens here. See how that falls. Okay, so we've touched once, twice, 3 times. Let's see if we can get a higher low off it. That I can keep. That's okay. $70,000. So is it still going up again now? Is it? Let's have a look. Oh wow. Okay, so we broke new highs again. Yeah, we have. Well, I'll be amazed if we don't smash through 70,000 by the end of the day. Good grief, look at that. Beautiful. There's no stopping Solana, is there? It's unreal. Solana, $150. Oh, so unbelievable that is. It's $150 Solana has. Unbelievable. Tell you what, do you remember when we had that bit of a, I don't know, there was something happened with Solana and it dropped down to $8, didn't it? Temporarily, but it was floating around the $18 to $20. I think I had 40 of them at one point. Wow. Trouble, you just never know, do you? I mean, I had a feeling Solana was good. There was some good opinions, good strong opinions. Okay, so look, we've had this leg up. Well, there may be a little bit of a break. We've had one attempt to go lower, second attempt to go lower. If we can get a higher low off here, I may consider this. We'll see. If I bring that there, would that work? Yeah, it would. Let's have a look. See how this reacts here. I like the fact that we've had 2 attempts to go lower. I never usually take that first one, just in case I've misread it. I mean, this very much could just be the top of a larger range. It's always possible, but the fact that we're yeah, that's why I never took that one. That's why I never take that first one. I mean, if you look at that, it's holding there beautifully. We have a push up and it's going sideways. And in other cases, it'll continue on up. But I never take that one. It was in the nice place to take. You could call that a hidden second entry long, but it triggered just up you out, which is why I always wait for the high low. And you sold Solana with a loss. Yeah, I mean, Solana, I think I remember it got to about $260 in the last bull run. Let me have a look. I can't remember. I mean, I was buying it around about $150 before, but I had a load of them. I think I had 40 of them around about $18. But you just never know, do you? You just never know. There was an issue with something. It was something that was to do with it. A company were invested in a lot of them and something happened. I can't remember what it was. So you took it. Yeah, I never take that first one. I absolutely get why you would have done, but I've been trapped so many times in trades like that. I mean, if you call that once, twice, 3 times, yeah. But it's hard to know exactly what's going on today. We seem to have a little bit of bullish stuff, but I've just given up with the, I'd even call that a hidden second entry long. I've got no problem with that. But there is a possibility we could be something like that, which is why I never take the first one. The first one, I was given chance to trap me, and then if we'd have got a higher low there, which reacted off there above the EMA, then I'd have taken it. I mean, it did get to the EMA. you know, a lot of times Mac will take these trades if he thinks they get to the EMA, but I don't know whether you got a point out of that, would you? You took it there. No, you wouldn't have done. So we've had that channel, depending on how you look at it. So let's call it like that. I can get away with that. We've had a break and a new high. We've made 2 more attempts to get higher and it's failed. So whether we'll get a failed breakout or whether, I mean, there's always the possibility. I'm really looking forward to the match tonight, actually the fight tonight. It amazes me how late these damn things are. It's at 11 o'clock in the UK. And I think it's in, isn't it in Riyadh? Or I know it's in Saudi and they're about 3 hours ahead. Well, I was having a boxing match at 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. It's crazy. But it's so late. Breakout pullback, yeah. I just tend to not pick tops and bottoms because I'm not very, well, I don't know whether I'm not good at them or they're just not reliable. It's probably that I'm not that good at them. But so if I get rid of that on the NQ, we've had a channel up there with a break and a new high. So it's played out. So I don't know whether we're going to pull back in and there is going to be a bigger range or not. I mean, there certainly could be. I mean, let's sort of take it from here. I mean, it's very possible. But really, until it comes down here and sort of confirms it a bit, I don't know. It may just be a bigger range day. There's nothing worse than having a loss on a Friday. I find, and I wish it didn't affect my mood. It does affect how good your weekend is, whether you end up green or end up red. So if I take another trade, it's going to have to be an absolute corker. Otherwise, I just won't bother because I'm happy now. I've got me couple of points. So this to me looks like it's coming down now. Maybe there's a bigger channel. So maybe it's a range. So many times it does this. It just goes up and up and up. You think, yeah, trending day. And then all of a sudden it seems to create a temporary top. Or a possible top. And then down it comes. And we've done it. I mean, we've had a break from that and we've made a new high. And we have tried a bunch of times to get higher. And it's dropped out. It still could come back in. It's always possible. But I'm not convinced it will. Looks like it's about to drop like a stone, doesn't it? There is a bit of support over there. We're below that, I think. That concerns me a bit as well. Yeah, the trouble is with cryptos, you just never quite know what's going to happen, do you? I mean, you know, a Bitcoin, it was only, what, 3 months ago, it was around about the 20s and 30s. And I think it's safe to say if you had a spare bit of money and you put it into Bitcoin, you could at least double your money. I think it was pretty safe. You never quite know. I mean, we never knew COVID was going to happen, did we? And all of a sudden, God forbid, we get another COVID. I can't see Bitcoin continue on up with the bull run. But so you just never know, really. But, you know, if I was a young lad, if I was in my 20s and I had 10 grand to invest, I'd wait till, mind you, you don't know whether we're going to continue to have as strong bull runs. There's going to be, I'm guessing there's going to be a lot of new legislation out and a lot more control. I don't know how much control they can have over cryptocurrency, but I'm pretty sure there's going to be a lot more control. A lot more legislation coming. So whether there's going to be the same large profits that we've had over the last 10 years, I don't know. Maybe not. But if I was a young guy with 10,000 6 months ago, I'd have thrown it into Bitcoin and forgot it for 20 years. So, are we creating the bottom of a range, or have we got a leg down, one attempt to get back into it, second attempt to get back into it or to get higher, and then we're going to come down? I'm not sure about this. We'll say that there is a little bit of support there. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 touches there, so we could theoretically push up. I mean, in all honesty, you could say we've had a channel down there. It's probably better off the way that's working in that small tier. It's probably better to say we've had a channel break in a new low. We've retested this bottom, so are we going to push up? It's possible. So channel, push up, coming down. Yeah, I don't have a lot of luck with these these failed breakouts. Now that's interesting. That looks very similar to the trade I took earlier. With a break, 2 attempts to go higher. That's interesting, that is. It has triggered. Let's see what happens. Well, it's not quite the same. We had a triple top there. But that's pretty bearish. And whether we get a leg or a leg, I don't know. I'm suggesting... I would have said... let's have a look. I would expect that to at least work for a little bit. I don't know. There's always a possibility. We've had a break out of that channel. It's already made a new low. So, nah, it's a bit congested anyway. Let's see. There is a lower high there, which has triggered that bullish bar. So if it comes below there, it may not. If it does, I'd suggest then we're going to come down a little bit. Yeah, we have. Okay, so there's a lower high there, so that might turn into not a bad trade, actually. See if we can get down the bottoms. Yeah, so that would have worked okay for a scalp or so. Did look like we pushed up, went a little bit sideways, triggered above it and dropped. Nice and hugging the underside. I do love taking trades when the bar, the top of the main body of the candle is right hugging that. Yeah, it was. It clearly worked. It's very nice, but I think you can always tell how good some of these trades in by how many traders get in. I mean, it clearly worked. Unfortunately, there was nothing really on the ES. But I do like that. It's very similar to the trade I took. That type of trade, wasn't it? We had a strong push up, it crossed over, triggered above anything here, that one, and then dropped quickly. Obviously, we never came down that far, but at the time, it's a little bit choppy. I mean, it worked for a scalp. I think that one came down for 3 points, I think, all in all. Depending on where you got in. Yeah, right on the nail, 3.75 points. So let's say a tick, 3.5 points it came down for. So as long as you're under 3 points, I think you're right there. But it moved a bit too quick. which is why I really shouldn't have taken that in hindsight. The trouble is, it's okay if it makes the profit, but it reverses because it moves so quick. Sometimes you haven't got time to drag your profit, or which is why a lot of the time now I used to bring my stop down. I tend to not anymore. I'll grab my profit and hover it somewhere over here as long as it's above the bottom, and I drop it. You know, if the price is down here and I'm hovering my profit up here, as soon as I let go, it'll take me straight out of the trade anyway. So. But yeah, if you didn't like that one, it took the lower high. I like the way it triggered above there, came straight down. So I think it's a fair comment that's going to get below here. Let's have a look. There may be a bigger channel there. We've got a touch, plenty of touches here. We've got one there, and one there. So leg down, break, new low. So we could continue up. It's definitely got a bullish feel to it. There's no argument about that. Obviously, we got that news, which you know, but when we had these two legs down, we have started going up a little bit sideways. We've made a few touches down the bottom. In fact, you could call that a triple test, but I don't pick bottoms and tops, really. I'm crap at them. It's definitely not my strong point. So, but I get it if you had done maybe one touch, two touch, three, or 1, 2, 3, whatever. But it does look like it's working off here. So I think it is possible we could get some more move upwards. So maybe we'll see. It's still a bit early, really. It's a bit. You want it to bounce off here, push up, and come back again, really. So we've got a leg down. One attempt to go higher, second attempt to go higher. So there is a higher low there. My slight issue with going long here is, look, we're below the EMA. I'm not saying it's not going to work, but for me, if I've misjudged this, it's going to sting me, and it has triggered it, and it looks like it's coming down, so I ain't getting involved in this lot. Let's see what happens here. See if this does hold. It doesn't look like it's going to, does it? Trouble is, we're struggling. We come down. We had a pullback. 2 bars there. We're still under. Going along there. You wouldn't have thought it would be the most sensible thing to do. I'll be amazed if it does hold. No, it hasn't done so. Whether you'd have took that, I doubt anyway, really. Yeah, well, we've had this channel, we've had a break, 2 pushes down, we've made a new low, so I'm just putting this out of interest, and part of the reason why I like it is it's touched lots of times on the top, really nice. So often, if I can't get the bottoms to work, I'll try the tops and drag the bottom down and just see how it works, and we've got a touch, a touch, a touch. It's rejected off that. Whether it'll work or go up or not, I don't know, but I got mixed feelings. This looks slightly on the air of bullish, so perhaps this will be as well. But at the moment, we're prices below the EMA, but we'll see. I don't know if there is a bigger channel there. I would probably. doesn't look that bad actually. But I would say channel, break, 2 pushes down, move low. Let's leave it off for a minute because this to me looks more bullish. We'll see. Okay. I'm still not sure whether this is still a bit of a range. No, maybe not. It is a bit choppy. Up, down, up, down, up. Where are we going now? Down. I mean, we are respecting this slowly, but it is a bit choppy and just a little bit unclear. I start the day blowing an eval. How did you? There was an active order I was unaware of on another computer. What big a mistake. We all do it, mate. Reset. Trade it back to the same level again. Yeah, we all do it, mate. We do some daft things, really. I'd say on 3 occasions I've had a PA and I've traded an evaluation on 10 contract and I've seen a good setup and I've swapped straight over to the PA but forgot to reset and traded on 10 contracts. I did that. I was literally, I don't know, $50-$100 away from a payment. This was before Christmas and I did it. And it was towards the later day and it just started to go sideways and I was in the red about $800. And it was getting towards the end of the day and it just wasn't moving and it was just flipping frustrated. So I think I double up or something. I ended up blowing the account. I was absolutely gutted. Yeah, you've got to check it. I think the simple thing to do is, I know you said you left it, but just based on what I was on, I'm stopping trading evaluations on their own now. I'm just trading them with Replicanto, with part of everything else, just at a slightly more elevated rate, maybe 3 or 4, probably 4 contracts. But I'm not trading them at 10 contracts because if you forget something and something goes wrong, you can stitch yourself up. It is just a little bit choppy at the moment. But there's nothing more. You speak to loads of people and loads of people in the Facebook group that said they've blown accounts so close to payments. So we do seem to be finding a little bit of support along here, whether it's the midline or not, but you can see it there. So is this an uptrend or am I just thinking that maybe there's too much? It's hard to say. Until we can continue on up, really, it's a bit hard. So we've had this channel down from the tops. We've made 1, 2, 3 attempts to go higher and we've struggled to get above that level. And now we're having a drop. So are we going to hold here or are we going to come down? I'm not sure with that channel. I think that channel's probably a mistake, I think. If you took that long there, you've just got stitched. Well, not quite, but I think you're going to, yeah. I'm just wondering whether people will go 1, 2, 3 triple test trigger. Yeah, this is not an uptrend. This is just coming down, I think. See, what I used to do is if I took a long there, it triggered me and stopped me out, I'd think, yeah, okay, now I'll take another long, and it triggered me again and stopped me out. I can't tell you how many times I traded like that. You think, yeah, 1, 2, 3, let's take a trade. Triggers you, stops you out. You're frustrated. You see another bullish bar, so you do the same again. Triggers you, stops you out. I've done that so many times. You shorted the NQ on that big bar. Yeah, it's. I don't think so. It's clearly looking like it's a range now. I mean, that's coming down pretty quick, isn't it? Yeah, they are. Yeah, yeah. So many times I'd take that one and then that one and get stitched up twice. It happens. We do it. You do stupid things sometimes. So let me have a look at this now. So we've had a leg and a leg, slightly more than a leg. So I wouldn't be shocked now if we had 2 legs back and then we continue down some more. So let's have a look at this. It does look like it's ranging, doesn't it? So let's say a leg and a leg. We've had about 2 legs down there, I think, give or take. Yeah, I think we have. Yeah, we have. Right to the nearest tick. So a leg. Whether you pull back here, I think it's irrelevant. It's the same. It's the same place. It's done the same. So a leg and a leg down. Let me have a look. What have we got in the way of support and resistance along there? There is a little bit further down. So so there is some around there, maybe there. Yeah, there's definitely some around that area, isn't there? So we've bounced once, we've hit that measured leg near us. So that's about that 50% level if it does. You're having lots of copy issues with the NQ. It was in your favour. Yeah, it's nice when you get a little bit, isn't it? Armanas, how you doing? Seems to be exactly what you wanted. No. There is some support there, which we've had a bit of a bounce, so we've come right into the middle of the area as well. Wow, Bitcoin's just had a big dump. Well, I say big. Fair size. 69.5 to 67, so it's had a $2,500 dump. Which I don't mind because I can have a look, pick up something a bit cheaper. It's getting close. It made another high, all-time high again. And then a big drop. This looks like it's coming below this level, doesn't it? Yeah, it does. Supporting on the VWAP. Looks like we're coming right down to the overnight lows, doesn't it? And the NQ. So we're stalling around this midline. There is a lot of support along there. We're very close to the lows here. I would say there's a higher low there. So bounce up here. Trouble is, there's what looks like there may be a break. There may be a second entry short. Trouble is, we've come down so low. We may not go any lower. If we are ranging, we may just sort of bounce off this area. So I wouldn't go short on here personally. So if we get a setup short on the ES, I wouldn't take that either, because we've hit this and pushed up strong. We've come back down and we got a higher low there, but it is, depending on where you look at that, where you look at the support there. In fact, let's move that down a tick. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4 touches there and 5. So I wouldn't be thinking about going short. It doesn't mean it can't come down, but so I definitely wouldn't be looking for shorts on the NQ. So I won't be looking for any on here, even though we've still got a ways that we can come. But it is bounce along that midline. You can see there's a lot of support there. You can see it all the way there. You can see it there. You can see it there, here. So it may, I don't know, push up, have a sizey pull back, whatever. But I'm not getting involved. Excuse me. There is a second entry short there. Personally, because we've bounced off here, I won't be taking it. May work, may not, but it's not for me. There's no setup on the ES anyway. Okay, there is a lower high here. It just concerns me because we're so close to the bottom here. Okay, it's clearly working. Anybody take that? I and ahhed about it, but my slight concern is because we bounced off this level here, and it just concerns me continuing on down. Doesn't mean to say it can't, of course, but that's why I stayed out of this. We got a leg up, break new high, and it is a lower high. But there's a lot of support around that midline, so I just don't know whether it's going to follow in these footsteps. Tried, you couldn't get filled now. Yeah, it did pretty much go down pretty quick. Yeah, see, if I see it on here, it looks like an okay trade. You got that one, did you? Good on me. But with there being some support around here and a bounce, you don't know whether it's going to trigger and push off. So I know sometimes it keeps me out of trades, this, but it's definitely got me into trades and kept me out of bad trades a lot more. It's not going to be infallible every time. But there you go. I mean, if you had a runner on that, you'd be doing okay there. So there may be a bigger channel down there. Certainly possible. It would fit okay. There is a second entry short there. Let's have a look. I get concerned about being sort of so low, and we've broke below this. We haven't quite hit the low of the day, but that was because of the spike down, because of the news. So it's kind of two nice legs, and it's where it's supposed to be, but there is a lot of support around here, so you just don't know. I mean, if you get a lower high, then I'd say yeah, but the way that's pushing up, I'll be amazed if it doesn't take that out. Yeah, it's gonna, isn't it? Surely. Yeah. That's the trouble, is when you get down to these lows, I get concerned about going any further. I did there because we bounced, but we did manage to pull through. And then we set up what looked like a really nice second entry short. I mean, that looks like a textbook setup. Obviously, the context is wrong, but setup wise, two beautiful legs up and a nice bearish bar, beautiful like that, would normally be a great setup. So anybody get stuck in that, did they? That was a great looking setup, I gotta say, great looking setup, but the context is all wrong. Because there's a lot of support around here. But as far as the setup goes, that's an absolute beautiful looking second entry short. 2 perfect legs up. Broke above this, came back down. Shame, really. And obviously, we'd had this channel down. We had a break and we'd already had a new low. So it's a shame that. That's frustrating though, isn't it? 2 lovely legs back out, triggers your stops you out, comes back down. Whether it continues or not, who knows, but so it's not been a bad week. What have I had this week? 6.5 point week. That's not too bad. I can get over 5 points a week. It's not a huge amount, but I'm happy with that. Yeah, it is frustrating that you get a really lovely looking second entry short, triggers your stops you out and then drops. That's frustrating. Certainly is. Maybe something like that. Let's get rid of that one, I think. So we've certainly got a lot of space down here to go. Yeah, it looks all right, that, doesn't it? Yeah, so that one turned into an okay trade, actually. I kind of like the setup, in all fairness. We've got a short-term trend channel with a break and a new high, lower high. The bit that put me off it was we'd bounced off support, which just made me a little bit suspicious. Sometimes I've done that before, got into a short and it's gone up. So I don't mind if something doesn't feel right. I mean, you've got to use your experience and gut feeling. If it doesn't feel right, just stay out of it. It doesn't matter whether it would have been a winning trade or not. If it doesn't feel right, best decision to make is to stay out of it. So possibly second entry short, but there is a little double bottom, so I won't be taking that even if it does set up. I just don't like that. We are getting very close to the lows of the day here. It's too far from the EMA, to be honest with you. If I was going to take it, I want the body below, up here somewhere. Never triggered anyway, so you wouldn't have got stopped out. Take profit. 51.42. Well, we're certainly getting some volume coming now. What's that trading psychology video you recommended? Creeder. It's good. You need to watch it every day. Yeah, she's good, isn't she? Yeah, she's a subscriber of mine. That's my claim to fame. I think she looked at me and used me as an example of what not to do in her videos, I think. But yeah, I did notice maybe 7, 8 months ago. I think she saw my video and thought this is a prime example of what I need to teach not to do. She's all right, actually. Yeah, there are some interesting watches out there for sure. I haven't watched the Hoggard guy again yet. I meant to the other night. I'm going to do it over the weekend, and I didn't realise he was the one. I know Michael. I get some messages and some charts from Michael most days, and he suggested him. He was live in London, but I didn't realise he was the guy that wrote the book, The Best Loser Wins. So I'm looking forward to watching that. So I'm going to get myself a bucket of popcorn and sit and watch that over the weekend. So I'm going to watch that over the weekend. I've got a new graphics card to install, or a second graphics card to install, and I'm going to learn a little bit about footprint. I watched a bit last night, but I was a bit tired, so I ended up dozing off. So look, do I think this is an overshoot? Possibly. We have broken the lows of the day there, so that's interesting. So that triggered, push straight down, stop date. This looks like the market may be taking a bit of a dump today. Stay. Yeah, so we've had this channel, we've had a break, and a new low, 2 legs up. That's frustrating. If you went short there, trigger just stopped you out and then dropped like a stone. It is frustrating, that is. The reason I wouldn't take that is because of the lot of support you can clearly see along there. Apart from that, it looked like a great setup, and it really did. I mean, forgetting about the context of the market, it's a textbook second entry short. That absolute textbook. 2 perfect legs up, bullish leg, little pullback, bullish. I like the fact that it triggered it, came straight down, finished one tick off its low, hugging the underside. It's an absolutely textbook second entry short. And in most cases nowadays, I always wait for the lower high, but that looked that good. But the reason I didn't trade it is you can see support and resistance over there and here as well. It's why I didn't take anything here or the lower high, although it worked, because I was concerned about this support down here. And give you that one, but then stitch you up on that one. I don't know whether any of you guys took it, but there will have been traders who did take it. But there you go. So this looks like it's coming down a wee bit steeper. So is this a better looking channel? It's a bit hard to say. So I think in all intents and purposes it just does look like a range day. Obviously we had that sort of spike up and down because of the news, but it did look like it was slowly grinding up, but then obviously we had this drop out, a little bit of a bounce drop, touch the underside of that and then drop down again. So that looks like a nice channel. We've now had a break of it, so YouTube is not receiving enough videos to maintain smooth streaming. Stream analysis, stream health poor. Okay. Surprising. Okay, stream health excellent now. Okay, so that looks like a break. So 1, 2, 3, really nice looking channel there. 2 legs up. But we are, there's the lows of the day there. So we've broken through the lows of the day. Let's see if we come down here now or we push back up. Because, I don't know, we're still in this channel, I'm not sure. Where did I have that initially? It was with a spike in channel, wasn't it? Let's put it back. So let's put that unless we've got a touch. And that for me, because we're touching so nice, that looks like a small overshoot there. So I'm going to treat that as an overshoot. So we may come back down or we could reverse. Or we may just have a correction. Either way, I'm just sitting tight here. I discovered it yesterday myself. I haven't used it. The Creeder. Yeah, she's from Ireland, I think Dublin or Southern Ireland. But yeah, she is good. It definitely helps, I think. I don't think there's no magic bullet personally. The only thing that will change is time. I've always been an advocate of that for quite a while now. It makes perfect sense to me. But that's just my opinion. You know, some of you guys might have been helped by these, but I've tried meditation. I've tried masturbation. I've tried every different Asian you can think of, and nothing seems to chill me out. Okay, big strong drop there. So no, I've tried everything. The second wax. You got to do what you got to do, Artie. Whatever works. That in one end, a mouse in the other hand. If it calms your nerves, do it. That's what I say. What is going on here? So we've had this channel down there. We've had an overshoot, and we've had the same this side. Exactly. You got to do what you got to do, mate. Whatever it takes. Scalping NQ. That's not much better. I'm only scalping NQ now. See if it's my yeah. personality makes a big difference in trading. I tried currency, and I did currency, and we traded on an hour chart with a 4-hour anchor chart, and it just seemed like it was like, oh my God, this could take forever. Because, I mean, you guys can tell. You've listened to me long enough. You know I'm quite a wired person. So my personality suits this style of trading because my brain tends to, well, it certainly feels like for me it works on about 1.5 speed more than most people. And I tried trading an hour chart. It was all right, but it just, I don't know, I just seemed to get a bit bored. I kind of like sort of slightly faster moving stuff. But yeah, personality absolutely makes a difference. So we've had this channel down in a break. Let's see. That doesn't interest me. It could stitch you up. I'd want a lower high really because this overshoot concerns me. It could trigger you and shoots off, but I can't trade without your voice in the background. Can you not? Well, that's a good thing. That sounds okay. I do get the odd comment that people saying I can't trade with your voice in the background. So, shut this down. It does concern me because I'm that used to trading and talking. It concerns me that I have an issue trading without streaming. Sometimes when I've looked at the charts after, I kind of feel like I'm cheating in a strange way. I know it's a bit odd, but so this is interesting. Let's see what happens here. Yeah, it does worry me. It's like what I try and do now is just sit for 5 or 10 minutes here and there after the stream. Right, there is a failure there. I'm staying out of this because I'm not sure where it's going to go. We have had an overshoot. In a lot of cases, it could make a couple of attempts to go lower and then rocket up. But I'm just sitting tight. And that's this big ass bar, so I ain't having anything to do with it. There can be a bit of trouble, this. What do I think's going to happen? Because of the overshoot, I'm always naturally cautious that we could get a reversal. And if that breaks above this, which it looks like it may, then we may get that reversal. I mean, I'll be amazed if it doesn't. But you never know. There's some traps here for sure. There'll be some shorts stuck in there, no doubt of it, and some longs. It does look like it's going to push up. If it gets above there, I'll be surprised if it has a little bit of a push. That's certainly enough to get a couple of points out of that, but it may not. You never know. Let's have that. Oh, that's interesting. So there's some sellings coming there. So I'm guessing there is some stops there, and they don't want that pushing above there. So there was some more. Let me have a look at this. We've got a channel up there, break new high. Try got once. Maybe we got a triple test. I don't know. But these bars are getting a bit on the large side. So I'm a little bit concerned. So we've got a break. One second attempt to go higher. We're still above the EMA at the moment, so I'm not even thinking about going short yet. But it was interesting when we got towards that top. We had a quick little bit of some sell orders in. Let's see, there is a bit of congestion there. So after that overshoot, 1, 2, 3, it really could go up or down. You might break some. Yeah, for some reason, I've got this error, not receiving enough video to maintain. I don't know why. I don't know why. I mean, I've got gigabit download speed, so it's buffering a bit. Yeah, strange. I don't know why. It's the first time I've experienced this. My internet speed is mega quick. You might just have to sit tight for a second. Yeah, you take it easy, Kitri. I'll see. Yeah, I'll show you if I can drag it in. There. It's just got error. But it usually says excellent, so just keep an eye on it. There is a second entry long forming on here, but I'm just a bit unsure. Is that going to work? It may do. I'm just not getting involved at the moment because it is congested. Okay, that should be better. It's just come up excellent now, so I'm not sure what caused that, so we'll see. Okay, there is a second entry long there. With this overshoot, it may work, but I'm just staying out of this in case I've got that overshoot wrong. It's fitting lovely there, so for me, I think it's likely it is an overshoot. So I'm staying out of this. So that's possible, but it is possible. That's as much as I'm willing to say. So let's see if that holds. No, it hasn't. So there'll have been a few stops there. Let's see what happens. Are we going to tumble down now? Leg. So maybe that's not an overshoot. We'll see. If it comes down, maybe it isn't. In which case, we've had a break, made a few attempts to go higher, and then eventually dropped. The reason I'm mentioning that is because we haven't got one on the NQ. That fits kind of nice. So I would suggest, with what I'm seeing here, we have made multiple attempts to push higher. I'd suggest it's more likely going to come down. It's buffering again, is it? It's got excellent on here now, so I don't know. Maybe it's just, I don't know. It's got excellent, so I don't know. Maybe I'm stuttering. Is that what it is? So that does look like we're making a push for the bottom. So we still got a bit of space we can go. two-tiered channel? Yeah, it may be. Hmm. Okay, let's put that back. I'm guessing we've had a break. And that looks like a new low to me. Yeah, it is. Yeah, so we've had a break, maybe an overshoot. Looking for a small pullback. MNQ. Yeah. Uh, uh, so we got leg down. So we got this leg down. We had one attempt to go higher. Maybe a second attempt to go higher. Maybe we are going to continue down. So we got this leg down, leg up, and then down. It's hard to say. Just thinking about more the penguin style. See if this is an overshoot, which I believe it is. A lot of times we'll come down and make a new low before we rocket up in that direction. But the trouble is, this kind of looks like a penguin style setup where we've got a leg down, one attempt to go higher, and a second attempt to go higher, failure to the downside. So at the moment we got this channel with a break. So if we have got this overshoot, we made a new low, I would think it would go up. But I'm not getting that feeling at the moment. This to me looks like it's continuing down, 2 legs up, and then a failure. I might be wrong, but this to me hasn't made a new low from this, so we've just had that bit of a pullback. We've now pushed below the EMA. If we get a pullback with a bearish bar here, for me, this is coming down. See if this triggers. If this triggers up a little bit and then comes down, for me, I'd expect these lows to be broken, because that just looks like 2 legs up. Running out of momentum, followed by a big bearish drop, and then we've gone sideways. We've triggered that bar. Nothing for us on the air, unfortunately, but that has triggered. Let's see if it comes down. So, I could call that like a second entry long, which is triggered. Let's see what happens here, whether it does come up or whether it just drops. The NQ for me is looking bearish at the moment. That 2 legs up. We need to get down below these. Let's have a look. This looks like it's just about ready to drop. There's going to be some stops below there, and possibly there. This is interesting. Let's see if we get a second entry short. Maybe a failure. This is coming down for me. Maybe not. It stopped out that bar, but then pushed up. So it's getting a bit sideways, isn't it? So, oh, there is a lower high there. God, that's tempting. But it's a bit too sideways for me. That's a very tempting bar to take, but it's big. And it's very close to the lows, so that's not for me, that one, unfortunately. I'm not prepared to take, and the bar ain't finished yet. 16 ticks. Yeah, I ain't getting involved in that. It's too big. 16 ticks, tick below, tick below. You're going into the lows as well. It could quite likely come down. This looks bearish, so it could come down a lot more, but I'm just staying out of that. I had a big bar risk yesterday. I don't want another one. And not only that, there is some support there. So it is a failure. There's probably going to be some stops there, but it could be because of this overshoot. We may have 1, 2, 3, a triple test, and off it rocks. It's always possible. So for me, it's a bit sideways, and going short into that when we've bounced twice already is madness, really, for me personally. Does look like it's coming down, but it's also sideways. So if we can get below there, I expect it to come right the way down. But it's too rich for my blood. Yeah, the NQ, this is more downwards, but the NQ looks more sideways. If it gets below here, then yeah, it's coming down. I think it's game over, I think. But I'm not involved in that. Yeah, that's going to flick down. Okay, so I think we're far enough now to continue down. I expect that to come right down now. Maybe to test these lows. There'll be some stops along here, I don't doubt it. This looks like it's ready to plunge. If it gets below there, we'll have a decent push down. This will come right down. So we're still holding on here. So that's hold. So there'll probably be some stops there. So as it's come down, it's touched there and pushed up strong. So maybe it won't go below there. At least it's moving anyway. At least we're getting a little bit of volume coming through. It just almost died yesterday. I had to just check to see whether it was still blooming moving. It's a bit shallow for me. No, I don't want that. Okay, folks, I'm just going to take a quick 5-minute break, make myself a cup of tea. I'll be back. Just give me a second. There we go. Okay, quick cuppa, and I'll be back 3 to 5 minutes. Okay, we're back. Let's have a look. Let's get up down there a bit now. So leg down, 1, 2 attempts to go higher. Yeah, we're definitely going down, I think, aren't we? Just remove that. Righty tighty. Is there anything I would have done there? Let me have a look. My push up. I wouldn't have taken that one. It's just too far above the EMA for me. And if you had done, it would have gone out and stopped you out for a tick before it comes down. It's a pain in the arse, actually, isn't it? Yeah, I wouldn't have taken that one because of the overshoot. Made a new low. We could have trapped you, but there was a double trap there. The short, the long. If you took that short, it triggered you. You took that long, it triggered you, stopped you out, and then went up and stopped you out for the short, and then ended up coming down, which is a pain in the arse. So if ever I get what looks like an overshoot, I always stay out of a trade for a bit to figure out what's going on. So there is a possibility of a break there and a new low, so not sure what's going on here. Excuse me. Not interested in taking a short here. Just because we've, if this is a channel, which actually doesn't look terrible, it's quite broad, I will say, but we've had an overshoot of it and we've made a new low, so I wouldn't involve myself in any shorts there just in case now it decides to reverse, which it could do. So always, it does seem to be like a bit of a messy range day today, so overshoot. Continuous low, so we'll see. Second entry short there, not interested. It is off here, but we've had that overshoot, so... sorry, the break and the new low. I mean, it depends how you see it, whether you see it. I did just try putting it in a range, but that's just asking for trouble for me, personally. Actually, it looks way more rangy than this. So perhaps we are more in a range. Let's have a look. Maybe. It is a second entry short, but it's not for me. It's not so much where it is, it's the fact that we've had touch, break, new low. It may work. I think this is probably more sideways than down. Trouble is, maybe. I don't know, that break and a new low just concerns me about going short. You'd have clearly got a couple of points out of it. No argument there. I just have a feeling here. Oh, easily. What I will say is this looks bearish on the NQ. I'm a bit undecided here because of the break and the new low. This does look to me, I mean, it's still holding. It may be okay, but I'm just concerned it's going to go like that. Whatever happens anyway, it's congested. May just be too shallow, that. It's not the best looking range, is it? So we're going to break new low, push up, 1, 2, 3. Maybe this is a triple test and we're going to go up. I don't like what I'm seeing at the moment, but 1, 2, 3. So if you took that failure, it's triggered you. I was going to say and stopped you out. It hasn't quite yet, but I think it will. I don't know. After this new low for me, it just, I can't see it going. I don't know. So if you did take that failure, triggered you, stopped you out. I'm just unsure about this. It did look like a channel with a break and a new low. So I'm just a bit unsure. It's a little bit choppy at the moment and a little bit unclear. So for me, the best thing for me to do would be just to stay out, because it, excuse me, it depends how you look at it really, isn't it? It's not the easiest of channels to draw, I will say. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's fitting nice there. In fact, I'll go as far as to say I think I like it a little bit better than the touch, 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 break. Clear break of a channel, clear new low. We've had a push up, we're going sideways. Maybe it's just trapped some shorts out there and off it goes. I don't know. I just don't like what it's doing, so I'm just sitting tight at the moment. Whenever I've taken a trade, especially on, well, any day really, but especially on a Friday, I'm very particular about taking another one. It's going to have to be that good. And it's just a bit unclear at the moment. It's a little bit choppy. It's kind of sideways but down. So it's not filling me full of, you know, rosy feeling, put it that way. Absolutely, yeah. It really does. I found it impacts your weekend how you finish on Friday. I think, certainly from my point of view, Friday is the most important day for me. But I'm coming up 3 hours anyway, so I'm quite happy to finish soon. Another 5 minutes, 10 minutes. It's slowly grinding down, which tells me it's sucking in shorts. We talk about this all the time, doesn't it? Sometimes the slower it goes, the quicker it goes in the opposite direction. So there's going to be shorts in there, quite possibly there as well with that failure. If you took that one, it triggered you and stopped you out. I kind of like that channel. It is not as steep as I'd like it, but it's not terrible either. And it is respecting it nicely, top and bottom. And then we have had a break, and as we know, we had a new low and we've pushed up sideways. So I think this gives me the impression it's going to push up. It's struggling to get down. I might be completely wrong. You're green and done. Good on you, mate. Yeah, you too, bud. Have a great weekend. Yeah, I mean, I could be completely wrong, but whenever I get that feeling, it helps me more than it doesn't, shall we say. After I'm done here, I'm off to Tesco's to get myself a nice bottle of scotch. And I'm going to watch the fight tonight. I might even treat myself to a Chinese. Much better for you US guys. I know it's in Saudi Arabia, I'm pretty sure it is, which I think they're about 3 hours ahead. And they reckon the main event starts at 11 PM UK time. So that'll be fine at 2 o'clock in the morning. But that's great for you guys because it'll be early evening. I don't know how many times over the years I've paid for boxing matches that have been at 5 o'clock in the morning. They've been in the US and they've been in the UK at 5 o'clock in the morning. I've fallen asleep and missed them. I remember watching the Frank Bruno Mike Tyson fight in the middle-80s when I was a young lad. There was a lot more bigger fights on back then. Mixed martial arts hadn't even existed. It's the Francis Ngannou and Anthony Joshua fight. I think it's in Riyadh. It's somewhere in the. But I like all the build-up because you get people like Conor McGregor there and some of the big footballers. What's it goes there? The ex-Man United player, some of the big footballers. Tyson is going to fight. I have heard that, yeah. Whether it's a bit of a gimmick or not, I don't know. But he's like, what is he, 30 years older than Jake Paul? I mean, if you see him training, he still looks dangerous. But the trouble is, he's what, 56, 57? And Tyson has always been a very explosive fighter. He won a lot of his. He's 55, yeah. He won a lot of his in the first round, didn't he? Because he was just massively explosive. Yeah, I had a feeling that was going to do that. Any stops in there, thinking it was going to go down, and just getting taken out. We've had that push down, see. We've had the break and the new low, which is why I never got in there. I mean, it did work, that one, and you may have got a bit out of that as well. You would have done, but for me, I expected it to push up. But yeah, it'd be an exhibition game, wouldn't it? But he's still got it, Tyson. But obviously, age is a massive factor. 30 years is a big gap. So, if Tyson doesn't knock him out in the first round or two, he's buggered, I think, isn't he? Because he won't have the energy. But I wouldn't underestimate Tyson. But who did Jake Paul fight? I can't remember, and beat, didn't he, not so long ago? Who was it? I can't remember. Who was it? What did he beat him? I can't remember. But I do like the crossovers. I do. When Mayweather fought Conor McGregor, I love it when they go from mixed martial arts to boxing and vice versa. But that Francis Ngannou, he holds the world record for the hardest punch. And I was watching a couple of his mixed martial arts fights a couple of days ago on YouTube. And who's the Danish guy? Massive hitter. Mixed martial arts, another heavyweight. He laid him out flat. Forget his name now. He's got one of these unusual names. I'm sure he's Danish. It'll come to me. But if he catches you hard with that punch, he put Tyson Fury down. So I've got a tenner on him at 4.5 to 1. I actually got lucky on that Ruiz fight. I think I got about 50 odd, 55 or 57 to 1 odds, and I put £10 on that. That was what, 4 or 5 years ago, something like that. When Ruiz beat was it AJ? Can't remember now. But yeah. I use Smarkets, I do. Smarkets is an exchange, so you get better odds. Are we going up now? I think we may do. Yeah, so I got a little bit more to 1 odds. I don't bet a lot, to be fair. Sometimes I bet I have 1 or 2 a year, maybe not even that. Well, in fact, the last time I had a bet on something, I think was the Ruiz fight, and I just usually have a tenner on it if I get good odds, just for the fun of it. There is a push up and a bullish bar. It looks like a bit like a bull flag there, but it's congested, and that's a big ass bar, I think. Oh, it's not as big as I thought, but I'm not getting involved here. But we have had that break in a new low, so I would suggest, I think, personally, we may be working up a bit now. Whether we will or not, who knows? But what was I thinking of earlier? Like Betfair. Yeah, exactly the same. Exactly the same, yeah. There tend to be two over here, Smarkets and Betfair. There's Match Book as well. I think another one, or Match something or other, I don't know. Is this the one that's going to take it up? Possibly. It's too far from the EMA for me, but I would suggest that it may do. Alistair Overeem, that's what I was thinking. I watched the Alistair Overeem fight earlier. It was last night, I think, with Francis Ngannou. And Alistair Overeem, he's a big, heavy puncher. He flattened, what's her name, didn't he? With a big dagger on his chest. He looks like an animal, that one, but I think he'll beat AJ, I really do. As much as I like AJ, he's a heavy hitter. Let's have a look at this. It's another messy day, isn't it? It's been a bit hard. I mean, that was awful, wasn't it? That lot was as well. We're getting moves, but we're just not getting a lot in the way of setups. So I would have thought we'll get something like this. This video on Tyson with a cane, really. Yeah. I like Tyson. I mean, don't get me wrong, I wouldn't want to be stuck down a dark alley with him. Because I know some of the stuff I've seen about him, he can be a bit unpredictable. And I think that's why he scares a lot of people. Because I've heard him talk on a couple of interviews, and he says he ended up being broke at one point, and he said it was the best he'd ever felt because no one wanted something from him. And the trouble is, when you're someone like him with, massive amounts of money, people are always after what they can get. So it's going to make you a bit odd. So That doesn't look like it's happening. What I will say is the NQ is still looking very rangy. Yeah, it's a shame, Tyson, isn't it? But yeah, unbelievable, isn't he? I'm sure he's 57. It's definitely gone slow now. Didn't Mac put a video out last night, did he? I'm sure I never saw one. He doesn't often miss Thursdays, does he? Whether he'll do one tonight, sometimes if he misses a day, he does a Friday. I don't know if he will or not, but... Till the pot run out, yeah. So that ain't happening. Yeah, it's messy now. Do you know what? I'm going to knock it on the air on that note. Knock on the air, knock on the head. It's just choppy now, isn't it? It's a little bit choppy and unpredictable. I'm happy with my one trade anyway. I got a couple of points on that. If you didn't see that. We had a little bit of a break there. We had a triple top, crossed over. That dropped quickly and I jumped in and got out. It was a bit too volatile, really. I probably shouldn't have done that. It worked, but we had a channel up there with a break, a new high, followed by a quick drop. So I think it was fair that was going to come down some, but it didn't come down as much as I thought it might do. It got me enough, but so if you took it a tick below, it came down 3 3/4, 3. So yeah, I think I got out for 2, which was around about there. So probably got on a tick lower than that. Actually, in fact, I got on a couple of ticks lower. So I think I got out about there, which was it, which was enough. But trouble is, when it's volatile, sometimes you haven't got enough time to grab your stop or grab your profit and get out of the trade. I mean, you can hit close, but the trouble is, if it moves that quick, you can get yourself in trouble. So probably wasn't the most sensible move. I find the bottom there and rallied high. Yeah. But trouble is, sometimes when I see these moves and I don't take them, I sort of regret it. So I tend to have this thing now that if I see a move and you like it, just take it. And I'm going to say, I got into it with a sell order, and I can't think of the last time I got in with a buy or a sell market order that didn't work. So luckily, if I see a trade that I think is really good and it's going to go without me, I'll usually hit buy or sell. And I can't think of a time where I did that and it didn't work. So that's a good sign, I think. So that instinct to jump in, it's definitely got me more trades and lost me more trades anyway. So maybe that's not such a bad thing. But yeah, it's a bit hard now. It's getting a bit choppy, a little bit unpredictable. It's kind of sideways. In fact, it's probably more sideways than down, really, isn't it? But there's nothing nicer than finishing. Yeah, it's probably more sideways. There's nothing nicer than finishing the week on a green day on a Friday. So it's not been a bad week for me. If you ask me what I like to do in a week, ideally, I like to hit 5 points. 5 points. I have this thing. I trade half my accounts, or so many of them, for 2 contracts, the rest for 1. So I've had this one account this one account for exactly a calendar month. Where's that gone? Oh, for exactly, where is it? A calendar month. That one there, 46. Sorry, yeah, 46 and 47 I've had for a calendar month. And that one's never, in my opinion, never heard your reason why you trade a 2000 tick. Why do I? Because a Mac trades it, and that's how I learned from Mac. So yeah, Mac teaches using the 2000 tick chart, and that's where I started. So, well, I started currency 6 months before that, but I think it was May, coming up 3 years this May, I found Mac. But so yeah, 5 points a week. It's been a calendar month. 46, that's been a calendar month. That's been a couple of days under, but it's around about where I like to be, $2,000. And we've had a tough month, to be fair. We've had a couple of days that we couldn't trade. We had that one day where it was all down. So it was just, it's been a hard month, I think. There's been a lot of messing around with Rhythmic. But yeah, it's been a tough month. So on the circumstances, that's not too bad. So 5 points a week on 2 contracts will give you around about $2,000. That one's $3 under. That's $105 under. So close enough. And these 3 accounts, that's probably about 15 days old. And those are what? So everything's good at the moment. I seem to have found an area where I seem to feel like this is where I should be. But I've only had one loss since I started these. So obviously that's, you're not going to blow accounts while you're winning trades. It's when you take losses. But, if you get, it's one of those things, isn't it? But I feel like I'm in a good place at the moment. These 2 accounts are $600-700 off a payment, in which I will take a payment for those 2 accounts. The plan is to do it like the Alpine trader does. When he gets his over 2,600, he takes a $2,000 payment. If I take a $2,000 payment from that account now is that account is paid for itself. It's now free money. That account there. It's now free money. I'm risking free money. So theoretically, if I get above 26, there'll be $600 in there. Well, 500 because it starts at 5,100, and then I'll reduce it to 1 contract and leave it, forget about it, and let it ride up slowly. And every time I hit $2,500, $2,600, I'll take another payment and then add a few more accounts to it. And then once I've had a payment from an account, it's free money. I'll let it build up to 5,000, 6,000, 7,000, and then try and take a regular monthly payment. That's the plan. But it is important to take some pay. It does make you feel good. It makes you feel like you're getting somewhere, and it's rather than putting money in, it's nice to get some back to reinvest. So hopefully in the next 2 weeks, I'll get a payment from these 2 accounts, and then these 3 hopefully won't be far behind. And then I may add a 3 at a time. If I get a payment, I'll add another 3, and so on and so forth. So I seem to have found the area where I feel comfortable. Any trades today, just the one, bud. I'll show you in a second. Just one for a couple of, I seem to get mixed. If you look at my profits here, I got 2.25 points there, 2 there, 2.25 there, 2.5 there, and 1 3/4. So it averaged just over 2 points, but that was the trade there. Had this little channel down. We had a push up, break, new high, little triple top, that one there, little triple top. When it broke above, it dropped quickly, so I jumped in there and just got out for 2. It went down for about 3.5 points, so I just got out for 2 quick points. But it was moving a little bit faster, and maybe I shouldn't have got in really, but it was around at the open, literally just after the open. So but another bit of a finicky day. We seemed like we were getting a bit of an uptrend, and then we seemed to you know, find some tops here, and then we're coming down. So we're definitely just ranging a bit now. So where we'll go from here, I don't really know, but let's put that there. That works nice, actually. Let's bring that over there. So yeah, we do seem to be just ranging. Still trying to pass the eval on the 3rd month now, mate. I tell you what, I wouldn't beat yourself up if you can manage to hold an evaluation and continue to trade it for 3 months. You've got patience. I've never done that. I've never had the patience enough to do that. So you've got discipline. So that's a good thing. You've got way more discipline than I had. It's taken me, well, I've been trading now coming up 3.5 years. So in May, I've been trading packs for 3 years. It's taken me a long time. And I've blown lots of accounts, you know, out of pure impatience, frustration. So if you've managed to hold an account for 3 months, that's a good sign, that is. Just keep trading, your skills will get better. It doesn't, passing it really is irrelevant. Getting enough screen time till you start to understand what's going on, and then your trades will just get better and better, and you'll just filter the crap out. So you've got something I never had, which was enough patience to be able to take an evaluation. I used to treat evaluations like monopoly money, I really did. Just very careless. So the fact that you've been holding it for 3 months is a good sign. So there you go. So done for a week. I've hit my target. Well, if you call it a target, but I've got over. Well, I get 3, 4, 5, 6.5 points this week, so I'm pleased with that. So look, I'll be nipping off now to get myself a nice bottle of scotch to watch the fight later. So you guys have a great evening and have a great weekend. I appreciate your comments. It's nice to have a load of colleagues to trade with. It just makes things just so much less boring, and you know, we can help each other and learn off each other. So look, have a great weekend. Stay safe, and we'll meet up again on Monday and do it all over again. So take it easy. Bye for now.